then you've got a problem. If you're saying, that their tradition is their tradition because of their religious experience, we have experienced God in this way in our tradition, they experience God differently. They call him by other names, as we heard, the name Alaa, for instance. I knew what that was, thank God, but we have to actually educate each other by living with each other and having dialogues like this. But again, if it's going to happen because of you folks out there more than because of us professionals. Because people don't always come to us. So I hope that helps a little bit, from my perspective.
Somebody else want to?
Oh, boy. There we go. Okay. Thank you. And wow. I think I like that idea about anonymous Christians. I think it's saying if they're good people, they're going to be okay.
That works.
Salvation, redemption. I think the rabbis came up with a similar solution because they asked this question too. Well, what about people? Are they promised as we would put it, a portion of the world to come? Another way of saying going to heaven. If they're not Jewish. And the consensus, there certainly were minority opinions, but the consensus was if they follow the basic laws of decency, found in the book of Genesis, that Noah was given, don't kill, okay, things like that, they'll be just fine. The obligation to follow all the commandments only devolves upon Jewish people and anyone who chooses to be Jewish. But everyone can inherit a place in the world to come by being good, ethical people. So I think it's pretty similar to that theologian's idea of the anonymous Christian.
As I mentioned, our faith is unusual in that it does not make claims of one, that there's one way, or it doesn't even purport to offer the best way. It understands that there are a multiplicity of ways to be religious in this world. But to go back a little bit, I think each of us, tends to think we're particularly attached to whatever speaks to us, and it's very human to feel like our way is the best way. I had a professor in seminary who did Wesley Ariadne. I can't remember his name exactly.
Ed Drew?
Yeah, Ed Drew.
I didn't know. I had a fellow Drew graduate.
Yeah, who did quite a bit of interfaith work, and what he came up with was the notion that, many of us anyway, have one father, one mother, and so, he said, what if kids get into an argument, my daddy's better than your daddy? Well, our daddy is our daddy, and so that's our favorite daddy is our daddy. But that doesn't invalidate somebody else having a different daddy or feeling that their different daddy is also the best. And the other side of our tradition is we're the result of a merger between Unitarians and Universalists. On the Universalist side, these were Christians that came to believe that a loving God would never condemn anybody to hell for all eternity, and that a loving God who had power ultimately would redeem everybody and would welcome everybody into heaven. Now these were Christians, but the logic of that leads to the sense that, well, it isn't just that only Jesus can lead you into heaven, that all people, that if we are all made in the image of God, and if God is a loving God, God will love us enough to bring us into heaven, that love is infinite and all-powerful. And so Muslim or Jew or Hindu or pagan, that loving God will redeem everybody. And so that's another way of coming at it. Myself, I make a practice. I'm in New York City quite a bit, and when I'm on a subway, I like to look at everybody on the subway and silently sort of say, you are made in the image of God. You know, so there may be somebody with Rastafarian dreadlocks, there may be a businessman with a briefcase, there may be a mother of a crying child, but to look at each person and say, you are made in the image of God. And somehow, to me, that's, if we can take that perspective, we can get past that sort of judging.
When you were all speaking, I was thinking of some things that Gandhi said, and Gandhi was a Hindu. And he said, God is truth, and truth is God. And the reason I bring this up is a lot of Americans were enthralled with the teachings of Gandhi, and they went to India, and they wanted to convert to Hinduism. And Gandhi would say to them that Hinduism is not your path. Your path is the path that you were born into, that there are many paths to God. And your understanding of God is determined by the traditions in which you are born into. And so whatever that is worth, I think that, and the reason I'm sort of trying to sum up here is we've run out of time. I think that that idea that God is truth and truth is God, no matter what form God takes, is something that might resonate with many of us in the room. So, in any case, I'd like you to thank the speakers again. The other group I'd like to thank is the Student Life Committee, who funds and sponsors this speaker series. And if you don't mind, I'm going to make an announcement. Can I do that, Jennifer? This afternoon at 3:45 in this room is a series of debates. The first one is on, it's a debate club, statutory rape. The second one is on evolution versus creationism, and the third one is on abortion debates. This is my dean.
Nothing too controversial.
I work for
Nothing
don't.
controversial.
Hi everybody, my name is Maisa Abu Yusuf Hayward, and this is nice. I like that. See, but since we have a panel of tolerance, we started in the School of Language and the Arts taking steps towards tolerance. So on Monday, all day, will be an event sponsored by both the Arabic Club and the Center for Peace, Genocide, and Holocaust. So it will be here all day, so please come, get a free henna tattoo, and whatever you like. And it will be nice, there will be food, which is the magic word, so please join us. And I do thank my panelists, and it's a great one, actually, to see how you may think there are barriers, but actually it's not barriers, it's just strings that go different ways, yet at the end you pull it and it's the same rope, if you wish. Thank you for coming.
Let's go around and bring over here too, ladies and gentlemen.